Bonjour! Awâsis na Dishnawge, wabjeshi na dodem, Michif Anishinaabe Kwayendao, Deshkan Ziibiing na dinda, Gichigagijwang, Minmo Wamitagoj Ziibiing na donjaba. So my name's Awâsis. I'm from the Pine Marten clan of the Nishnawge and Michif nations, and I'm really honored to be here tonight as the artist. I thought I'd be fit into maybe one of the other boxes, so I'm really excited. I was thinking, what's the best way to share my creative process with you, how I make art, spoken word, and I decided the best way to do that was to just share spoken word with you. So I'm going to start with a piece that I like to think of as a greeting to Nishnawge. So Nishnawge is Nishnawbe territory or Nishnawbe land, where we are now, and this particular area of southwestern Ontario we call Naganana, which means our dish. And basically, the dish with one spoon is a treaty between my nation, the Nishnawbe, and the Haudenosaunee. But it's also, so it's an agreement to share the land, to take care of the land for one another so that we can both eat out of the same dish. But it's also about our responsibilities to the land. There's a bottom to the dish. We just can't keep taking and taking and taking, or there won't be enough for everyone. So a lot of my work I situate in relationship with the land, and I think this one does a really beautiful job of situating us in that. So this one's called Nishnawge. We send our choicest greetings, Nishnawbe, Age. Once pristine lakes teeming with salmon, sturgeon, eels from the ocean land of the dawn, ran these rivers' great lengths, swam, bliss, spawn. It's hard to imagine just all that's been lost. Old-growth white pine forests, strip, clear-cut, maple cedar, pawpaw, poplar, walnut, fiddlehead, spruce tips, three sisters up in these woodlands. Grass prairies for the buffalo. Manuman rice in the shallows. Our first medicine came directly from the lake. Cupped up hands, dip 'em, sip and take a drink. We see your scars, Nishnawbe, Age. Still know who you are, your power, beauty, before pipelines, chemical valley and logging, before wild rice was ripped out by cottagers, before settlers scribbled graffiti on sacred places. A Canadian flag now covers ancient rock paintings, sugar bushes under non-native ownership, where our villages used to exist, colonial empire building on burial grounds, spewing sewage in rivers, garbage in mounds, flattening forests with industrial farms and towns, layering pavement over sacred ground. We still feel you, Nishnawbe, Age. Breathe, believe, and need you. Body, Nibi, life force flow, for real effervescence. I'm a vessel for spirit, spit rhymes with essence. Spiraling ways, from everything comes lessons. Dialing waveform, entirely quintessence. Miigwech. Oh, miigwech. So everything about who I am as a Nishnawbe, Nijmanadu, and Nishnawbe Two-Spirit comes from the land, and including our Chinakogewin, our natural law, our original legal system is based on being on the land, in ceremony, observing the land. We learn from the land how to be better humans. And that's also part of our responsibilities as the Oshkomodzig. We call ourselves the new people of the seventh fire, my generation. And part of our responsibility is to pick up what our elders have left along the path, including our natural law. And this next one is to honor those Oshkomodzig, I'm sure, who are in the room. And because they're really our way forward. We're bringing people together to walk in a good way and to really light that final fire of peace. So this is my nod to the Oshkomodzig. Brown hair, brown eyes at the round, electric powwow grass style, jet black braids that jingle sound, Nish strutting in all smiles and proud, rocking Annie's mocks with the fur, putting that beaded dally to works full circuit, mind, body, spirit, and ground, knowing all about how the revolution goes down, showing rad, resurgent lifestyles loud, all active, designed to rile. Ain't anybody that can ride well idle. It's Oshki strategy, the new tune on dial. Wabjeshi, help lead, help us compile. Warrior mentality, the bona fide child of a community scheme in unity all while. Ancestors believe, they see and are inspired by the new people's dream that to this day transpires. Living responsibility in this legacy we've acquired, yet can be hard to see in the seams of this attire Jaganashi mock, hard to see in the OG slang our babies talk. In the concrete streets we can barely breathe or walk while carrying the weight of Plymouth Rock. Phone and sash, tribe on blast, I'm on sacred ground where toxic leaks cut lives in half. You could ask the whole town, there's only natives left since Blue Water moved out. Respect to Amjanong, put your tobacco down. Pray for the land and waters, we weren't always allowed to speak for the trees and plant life also out and about. Canada's a dark past we need to talk about. Abuse at residential schools drove cultural traditions underground, and it's not over yet. It's still cloudy out. No funds for education in the ways our spirits sound, but Junior for Mounties, their guns and their rounds, their penitentiaries, starlight tours out of town, insidious policies keep flushing families further down the mush hole. So what are you doing now to stop hell, to reconcile? Miigwech. Miigwech. So part of what I see as embracing these responsibilities, uplifting these responsibilities, is to challenge pipeline projects, as Vanessa said. And I think if we're really going to take sustainability seriously, that we need to be challenging specifically tar sands pipelines. They accommodate tar sands expansion, which is just the most disastrous mega project in Canadian colonial history. It's the black smear on the country right now. And I think we need to talk about it, and we need to not just resist pipelines that are in our backyard, but see how a lot of them across Turtle Island are connected to the tar sands mega project. So this next one deals with this. A lot of my poems, are ways I work through problems and emotions, and a lot of professional artists don't like when I say that, but I think art can be very healing, and I'm not ashamed of it. So this one is rightly titled The Beast. We saw where it had made a pathway, the early formation of colonial states. John A. Macdonald's high day, clearing the West with starvation, repressing the Métis Nation, stealing land and language, pushing sea and rail, the half-breed script, executing Riel. I'll say, we saw the beast coming before a track was laid, grass pressed into the earth like dew in a coming day, intrinsically imprinted, an ancestral memory. What our bodies feel, we don't necessarily see. How we read emotion, each other's energy, how the spirit songs support. This is where you're meant to be. That moment in Elsie, Ganastado, Ganasadage, Ipperwash, Burnt Church, Oshkomodzig. We were waiting for a stir silently, when a susurrus ahead signaled one to creep more closely. In distress, they explained, a toxic snake had slinked across all the tributaries of the Great Lakes. We asked our elders first, then put our tobacco down. Then the creature's neck and its giant head we found. Then handmade bone blades carved through its skin of scales into its long body as its blood spilt to the ground. We went home proud-hearted and rested well. For some time, anxiety was quelled. But what we hadn't seen was the wiggling of the tail, and the waters were all poisoned. Families grew sick and pale. Warriors out scouting revealed the beast had many heads. In all directions it expands across Turtle Island. More warriors gathered in ceremony and feast. We mapped out the creature we had thought was deceased. Created together, together we speak. No line 9, line 3, or energy east. No Trans Mountain, no tar sands. It's time to kill the beast. Miigwech. So I only have a minute left, so I wanted to talk a little bit about actions, because that's supposed to be our take-home today. And I think that the most important thing about the health of the land is that it's also an embodied experience for us. In order to have a healthy landscape, we need to know that what feels good for the land, what is a healthy landscape, right? So I challenge you all, take your bodies out onto the land. Go out and sit along the river, okay, and talk to the river. Right? Talk about things that have been stressing you, things that have been weighing on you. Talk about, what your worries, the health of the river. Ask them what their name is, right? And listen, really listen. Not just with your ears, with your whole body. Think about the story of that river. They are an ancient spirit, right? This is not an object, this is a living entity, right? So learn their name, learn the original name, Deshkan Ziibiing. That connects to that spirit of the river. They recognize that, right? And I challenge you all to learn other place names. Think about what your street name would look like in one of the indigenous languages. And let's push for those place names to be recognized. There's no reason that we should be calling this the Thames River. That's so uncreative, okay? Colonizers just took that from the big London, okay? Let's reclaim indigenous place names, and I promise you that it will only nurture a stronger connection to the land. Miigwech.